Our project is called Zenbox, and we wanted to create an Android app that explores the relationship between audio and video. So what we did was we took the camera built into the Android phones and used it to capture images of the world around us. And then from there, use that to control various synthesizers in interesting ways.
The initial synthesizer that we have is a granular synth that takes the average RGB values and uses that to change a synth that we have. There's violin. If you look there, you can see the features being detected and the overall velocity of the image, and we use that to play a few different sounds.
Probably the most interesting thing about the capstone has to be just the freedom of it. I mean, at the start of the quarter, they say, come up with a project that involves sound and do it. In the start, you have like all these grand ideas of what you want to do, but in the end, you kind of have to choose what you want to do exactly, because otherwise, nothing's going to get done. Our group is doing both audio and image processing, and well, none of us have done that before, and we're also working on Android, which again, none of us have really done before. So just learning all those things and getting everything together has been an interesting experience. Eventually we're going to use things such as like image velocity and other things to control other aspects of the synthesizer.
This is the BMO Player project. The idea was that we wanted music that would kind of match your walking or jogging or running pace while you're out exercising and trying to listen to music. Song libraries are really varied in terms of beats per minute, which is kind of how you match up with the pace of the music. We did two things to try to fix this. We started with, we detect what your pace is by using the accelerometer as you're running, and then we use that to both filter the song list that you have in your library by BPM. If you're jogging along at 120, or maybe running along at 120 beats per minute, we find songs that are, maybe 110 or 125, and then we stretch them to fit where you are, even if you don't have songs in your library at 120 BPM.
Because we try to do this on a mobile phone, the challenge we have is trying to get all the libraries to work on the phone. How we solve it? First, it has to do with figuring out the running pace that you have. How does that translate into, beats per minute? Then the second part is, how do you know in your music library what songs are at what beats per minute? And then the third part is it possible for us to take some songs and adjust them such that basically they'll have the same playback when I'm walking. The biggest challenge is really getting things to work on the phone. Hey, we're a great team here. We're doing a fantastic work, I think. But technical problems are technical problems. You just keep working on them and then you find a solution. When something doesn't work, you trace back and you say, all right, I got to pick a different avenue, and that's the most we can hope to do.
So our project is called The Hills Are Alive with the Sound of Room. The basic idea is it's an art installation. People will come in and put on a hat or a shirt of a certain color. Each color is associated with a certain sound. So as they walk around the room, the webcam is going to track where they are and play their individual sound from whatever speaker they're closest to. And so it kind of encourages people to move around and explore, and also just to socialize and hear interesting combinations of sounds.
Our system supports up to 8 colors. When we were originally coming up with how we were going to do this, we used OpenCV, and we converted the RGB space, which we got back from the camera, into HSV, which is hue, saturation, and value. The hue is essentially the green or the red, and then the saturation and value is more like the brightness that the camera's picking up from the image. And then when we actually go through and set up basically configure the colors, we have to do that kind of individually for each color to make sure that we're not picking up extra extraneous noise that would cause the camera to think the colors are in different places on the screen.
We're applying computer science and we're trying to install this directed sound system, and so we're trying to encourage people to interact with each other. We developed in parallel, so each of us was working on a different part of the project for the whole quarter, and now we are trying to combine all our code base, and it's kind of hard. I like the idea of building a project from scratch and having a lot of control over it.